Hey everybody, Michelle Holling-Brooks here with Unbridled Change and also the Sacred Witness Oracle. I'm super excited to share with you today about one of my favorite mystical tools, the Enneagram. So when most of us think of the Enneagram, we think of a typing system. Like it's like, oh, you're a 2, that means you're a nurturer. You like to help people and support people. You're a 5, oh, you're a thinker type. You like frameworks, you like to understand things and organize things. Not so much a feeling, but that's really not what the Enneagram can really offer to each and every one of us. In reality, the Enneagram was originally an ancient tool for self-knowledge and awareness, awakening, and development of really seeing how much of your amazing soul self can you bring into this lifetime. And also illuminating what is the gap, what is keeping you from being able to really unlock the gifts that are within you and holding you into a suffering pattern of what? Of trying to earn your way into that connection once more. And so each of us have all 9 points within us. We have all of the 9 different ways in which we find ourselves lost in separation, and we're trying to bring that back together. We're trying to feel a sense of deep aliveness and embodiment and connected to the whole. We want to feel both of those. Our own individual self, feel love and laughter and joy and vitality in our own life. That's that body center. But we also want to feel that connection to the whole. We desperately want to feel that we are in that, quote, circle, where each and every pixel of that circle matters. And if one pixel doesn't show up, that circle is not as strong. And in that body center, there's this piece of, even though we're in separate forms in this lifetime, there's a deep knowing that we are all connected. And so therefore we want to bridge that gap. In the head center, we can feel, oh, sorry, not the head, the heart center, we can feel that availability out into that connection, that we are all one. Our heart, the law that governs, the mystical law that governs our heart center, is that law of connection, that law that we can sense into all that is. And through that ability to sense each other is that ability to tend to each other, to support each other, to honor each other, right? And then now the head center is that we do want to bring the ego with us. The ego is on our bus. Why? Because it helps us survive. It gives us a sense of self. It gives us a structure, a container that says, this is who I am in this lifetime. This is what I like, what I don't like. This is how I want to be. This is my opinion. As somebody who has had the experience of literally running without a sense of self, without that ego intact online, that was a really bad, scary part of my life. I woke up from a coma when I was 13 and there was no memory. There was no Michelle. I was a complete blank slate, which then meant that anybody and everybody could then tell me, this is who you are. This is who you are. And what I came to eventually realize on my journey, of my healing journey, and then as I went into the healing arts and as a practitioner for the last 20 years, is that everyone has had that experience, because from the time they were born, there was an idea, a projection put upon them of who they are, of who they're supposed to be, of how they are supposed to act. And so little by little, sometimes the environment was allowing the beautiful heart and soul energy of that being to be present, but most of the time it was conditioning it. If you show up this way, you get our attention. If you show up this way, you don't get that. If you show up this way, you get our acceptance and our support and our love and our praise. If you show up some other way than that works for us, then you are deemed wrong. You are, sorry, my talk. You are deemed not worthy of being in that tribe. You're kind of kicked out until you work your way back in. That is what the ego structure is designed to help us manage, because our heart wouldn't do that. Our soul, or that beautiful divine light and essence that we are, is not going to do that. It's it's our survival and our trauma adaptations that is what creates that separation. The Enneagram is the 9 ways in which we try to heal that separation, to gain that acceptance, to gain that support. And it also not only shows us the way in which we get quote unquote gummed up in that, like sticky and kind of tripping ourselves up in those survival and trauma adaptations. It kind of helps give us a little roadmap to, hey, if you can hop over here, if you can work it this way, you're going to allow yourself to, one, free yourself up from the kind of insane, neurotic, doing the same thing over and over, trying to get a different result thing. That why are you doing that so hard and working so hard is because we do have a need to feel deeply connected and embodied. We do have a need to feel seen, felt, and heard as our beautiful heart self from another. We do have a need to want to feel that we are held and that we can trust in something. These are all core needs of us. The question is, how do we meet those needs? What are we willing to exchange to meet those needs? And when we're running more in our survival ego level, we're pretty much willing to do anything to meet that need. Because if they're not met, that means we're kicked out of the tribe. If we get kicked out of the tribe, we don't survive, right? The Enneagram helps us see that, helps us deeply honor that, and then it helps us say, okay, now personally, what is it that you want to feel, embody, step into? What is it that you want to express through your heart center? What is it that you would like to explore with your head and have your head step into a state of more calm and trust and willingness, right? What would that feel like? And we can, though, get stuck there. And that's where a lot of the Enneagram gets stuck, is how do I become a better version of what I want? And that's a beautiful stage of personal development. It's a gorgeous stage. We have to answer that. We've got to go in and kind of attune to ourselves first and start to answer that question. But if we get stuck there, then we kind of are staying in that separation. The Enneagram invites us to go to the next step, which is that soul-led consciousness, which says, okay, here is what my survival drivers are telling me to do. Here's what I personally want to do. Now the question is, what is my soul saying? This is the way in which you are here to be a presence of, to support, to be of joyful service with. What is that? What is the way in which I'm being asked to be in the space, to be in connection with another? Can I follow that? And that is what the original, quote, founders of the Enneagram, the Desert Fathers and Elders, that over 2,000 years ago went out into the desert to answer that question. How do we live from that place that still honors that I've got to eat and live and be in community, right? And be in that dance of still meeting our personal desires, wants, and wishes. How do we bring the soul into that too? I love this stuff so much. So a simple exercise that I invite you into to start to feel the invitation of each of these different ones is to this one is going to be all about the heart center. And so if you could take a moment and just bring your hands to your heart and just feel just that simple thing, bringing your hands to your heart center, bringing my attention to my own heart. And what I invite you to do is not put a narrative on it that this should feel good, this should feel welcoming, this should feel warm, this should feel whatever the should is in front of it. I invite you to let that go. Instead, just really get curious, how does this feel? You might be surprised. There might be parts of you that do feel warmth, relaxation, opening. And then there might be parts of you that are like trying to move away from your hands as you're bringing it to it, or your hands might want to stop with a bit of a distance between those two. Just breathe in. Whatever it is that your body's wisdom is telling you, open to that. If you want to pause, write down a few words. What are you feeling in and around your body? And then kind of put your hands down, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. The wiggle has a purpose. It's just not to look silly on camera, and helps kind of reset the vagal nerve. And now we're going to add another element to it. So we've added the body movement. We've started the conversation. I want to talk to my heart center. So now we're going to add some sound healing to it with a mantra. I want to be seen. Say that again a couple times. I want to be seen. I want to be seen. Put your hands down, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. How does that feel in your body? Naming and taming and claiming that innate desire that sits in our heart center. We desire to be seen. Is that right? Is it wrong? Is it something that we shouldn't have? Is that too prideful? So now I'm in a 2 point. If I'm seen, am I right? Does everything look good? Do I have something out of place? Am I presenting the picture of confidence and competency? Now I'm at a 3 point. Am I being seen for the feeling tone that I have right now? Am I allowed to feel what I'm feeling right now? The good, the bad, the ugly. Now I'm talking to 4. See how each point you can talk to with such a simple little exercise? Is that okay? What are the tender places that want to be deeply seen? Can you see those places now? Can you answer that question right now in this moment? And now here is the part that I will give you a heads up and informed consent that it sometimes feels pretty tender, pretty vulnerable, and also exciting all at the same time. Whatever mix comes forward for you, we're going to honor that. And I open to being seen. Open up those arms as big as you can. So I'm claiming first my desire, coming to my heart. I want to be seen. I open to being seen. Ooh, does that feel safe? Does that feel exciting? Does that feel nervous? Does that feel vulnerable and exposed? What's happening with just that simple act of opening? And then wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Kind of write that down. Last piece. And then you can work on this simple exercise over and over, having as many dialogues as want come in. And I am seen. So it comes back. I am seen. I love to invite clients to do this in a mirror where they're looking down at first. I want to be seen. I open. They look up. They look in the mirror. They open their hands. And then allowing that, like they're almost like giving it back to themselves from the mirror. I am seen. I see myself. I honor myself. I welcome myself just as I am. So I don't have to have that perfect persona looking back at me, have it all together, have the to-do list all done to earn the right to be seen. I can be seen just as I am, even with a half to-do list. Woo! The 3 is going to have a moment with that, right? I have the right to be seen. I see myself and my feelings, my emotions, and I honor them just as they are. That's the 4. I see how hard my heart tries to support others. I honor that, and I give myself that grace. Oh, that's the 2. And breathe that in. So my invitation to you is to keep working with this lovely little exercise, bringing in the voice, and even changing up this mantra if you want to match what is coming forward for you. Give yourself permission to maybe stretch out, stretch up and down. There's lots of different beautiful, that's connecting heaven and earth. Oh, it's my favorite Eden energy exercise that there is. I just absolutely, every time my body starts, I give it permission to move. It's like, I want to do that one. I want to make some more space and center Eden of self. So I get to share more exercises like this in the course. I hope you join me. If not, please keep using and working with this one. Let me know how it goes. Let me know about the conversations. Allow yourself to be truthful with yourself in here. The good, the bad, the ugly, we welcome all of it because it's designed to help us see where these needs were met, where they weren't met, what we did to try to get these needs met, and ultimately giving ourselves that gift that says, I am seen. I see myself, I honor myself, and I welcome myself as I am. I am worthy. That is healing. That is love. That is growth. And from this place, when I honor that in myself, now I can freely give. Now I can go out there and take a little bit more of a risk to live my guidance, to be in my guidance, and to follow that and to express that and take those risks and kind of gamble on myself, because now my worth is within me instead of somebody else. It's a huge shift. It's a beautiful shift, and that to me is true wholeness. Offering you light, love, and joy, Michelle with Unbridled Change.